So I'm going to talk to you today about how I became a bit of an extrovert, and how being an extrovert for me works much better than being an introvert. So I grew up pretty much isolated. I felt as though I was apart from everyone, as though I was sort of like on the periphery, watching everyone else in the middle. I used to look at people and see how they used to sort of immediately greet each other and be friendly with each other, and I used to think, how do you do that? I just didn't feel as though I had the capacity or the knowledge or the skill set to be able to create friendships. So I was always baffled about how people would communicate, and that was all like self-worth and anxiety, and I used to think that there was some sort of martyrdom about it, like there was a medal that I should have about having to do things on my own and be an introvert, be isolated, and that martyrdom didn't serve me at all. But what it also did was it gave me an issue where I could never complete projects. I was a great starter but a poor finisher. So whatever it was, learning to play the drums or whatever, I would start, but I would never finish it, whatever it was. And I used to think that maybe it was just that I just wasn't good enough or whatever. And it's quite an excuse that you can use, but equally, whenever you start anything, you're not good enough. The whole point is that you learn and you practice and practice and practice until you become good enough. But I used to think that I had to learn, or I had to immediately be good at stuff, or I just jacked it in, which was crazy. And obviously I never achieved anything. So basically I slowly worked out that I needed to work with others to enable me to actually make any progress whatsoever. And I got a coach, and that coach showed me how I can break projects down into small segments, which are manageable segments, because whenever I used to see a project, I saw it in its entirety and I would get overwhelmed and I'd be all like, oh my god, I just haven't got the time. But if you break that project down into small tasks, then it becomes a lot more manageable and achievable. And every time, obviously, you complete a small task, however small it is, you get a feeling of satisfaction of being productive. So that's what basically my tips today are. If you struggle with doing things on your own, or you feel that you are in a freeze type mode whenever you come across a difficult part of a project, then don't hesitate to try and get some help with it. Obviously, I'm here for people like yourself. If that's your issue, I can help you break stuff down. I can give you a strategy to work with. I can give you the tools to overcome your anxiety, and we can work together to make sure you succeed, because that's what my coach effectively does for me, and I can pass that on. That's how it works, and that's how I became a coach, because I thought, well, actually, I've really struggled in this, and I liked having a coach. And therefore I would like to help others do the same thing. So contact me on my website. You'll see my email address and we'll set up a call. But in the meantime, I've got 5 tips that I worked through basically, which helped me move through projects. So one of my biggest projects was getting myself a social media calendar and a strategy to be able to get myself out there as a coach. And one of the first things I had to do was work out exactly what I needed. So I needed to have a website, I needed to have a video, I needed to have a blog on the website, and I needed to have social media postings which could direct people to either watch the video or the blog. And I had to do it in segments. So what did I need first? And I'd work it out what needed to be done next, and I did it in small tasks, small little projects, and I've very quickly succeeded in doing that over a space of a couple of days, which was great for me, because usually those things used to take me ages. And the second thing that I worked out was that sometimes I needed some help. So if I was doing something that I wasn't sure of, I would have a look through my friends list, or maybe some people that I knew from work or business, LinkedIn even, and I would see if there's anybody that I knew had experience in whatever I was struggling with, and I would give them a call. I would send them a quick email or a DM, and I would say, look, I'm trying this. It's my first time. I'm struggling with this. Is there any way you can give me some advice or help? Because we've all got loads of friends. We've all got lots of people that we've been colleagues of, or we've met throughout our career, and we've got all of this massive opportunity to grow and to understand new practices, but we just don't use it. We don't use that great big portfolio of help that we've got sitting there. So, and another way that I used to do this was I would try and sort of have a look at what was ahead of me, and if there was anything where I thought, oh my god, that's going to be really tough, or that's going to be quite a meaty thing to do, and I could feel already the fear or the overwhelm or the dread of doing it, or there's always something you don't want to do, and I always try and do that stuff first. So if I got to a part of my project where I thought that's going to be really difficult, I'd work out exactly what might help me to get through that stage. So one thing that I do every week now is that I've got a friend of mine called Janice, and she does blogs and I do blogs. So what we do is we have a Zoom call where we just literally have the meeting as though we're talking to each other, but we just sit there and do our blogs. We're not talking to each other, but we're both sitting there knowing that each of us is working through the blog, and I just flow through my blog when I'm doing that, because I'm with somebody, I'm doing something. On my own, I probably divert often to Facebook, or I might even put on something on Netflix, or I'd keep going to my email or whatever, and I wouldn't stay focused. So try and get a friend maybe that can sort of sit with you. They'll have a project themselves they need to do, and just have a weekly call, same time, same day, and just say, look, this is what I need to achieve. We'll have an hour, what is it you need to work through in this hour, and you both sit there and just work through it as you're on that call. It's so helpful. If you don't have somebody like that, there's also a website where you can match with other people around the world who want to do the same thing. So FocusMate gives you, I think, three goes each week where you can literally meet at a certain time. Somebody from around the world will be wanting to work through their project or whatever, and they just want someone to focus with on a Zoom call. And so you could be sitting there working through something while somebody in Japan is doing something through a project of theirs, and it's a great way to meet people. You don't tend to speak to them too much. It is literally just sort of, hi, I'm going to do this, you're going to do that. But with Janice and I, we always read through what we've done after the hour. So it's a nice little way just to be able to sort of tell each other what we've done and get a little bit of affirmation that you both succeeded together in doing your task. And the last thing I would say is, if you find that your project is lacking maybe a bit of inspiration, maybe there's something that it feels okay, but you need something more, and try and get together with other people who's got the same interest. So meetup is a great way of meeting up with people who are, say, into architectural design or whatever, and you just meet up with them and just say, look, this is my project, what do you think? And just get people to give you feedback, because everyone loves being asked for help or feedback, and everyone feels honoured. They like to be asked. It's quite a nice thing to have someone, if someone asks me for my advice, I feel really honoured and treasured that they'd even think that I'm important enough. So please go ahead and do that. If you need any help with your coaching, or you want to coach, or you want to just maybe have a look and see what options there are for you, send me an email, martin@becomeunstuck.co.uk, and let's have a call and we'll see if we can work together. The call is complimentary. All right, guys, have a great week.